Hello everyone, welcome back to Great Conversations. We're going to be reviewing episode 16 of Cardfight Vanguard G Z, the official animation, or just the Cardfight Vanguard Z anime. So this episode was very nice. I liked it. I'm just going to start off with it like the two decks that were featured in this episode I don't really care for. I like some of the characters, but I don't mess with Brave. I have Thavas for that. It was kind of making me upset the fact that we didn't see more of Thavas. We got to see like a little tiny bit of what Xandros did back in can't remember what episode, but the episode where they were freeing everyone from relics. But that was definitely not enough. I would definitely want to see more of Thavas. Like, we're only 16 episodes in, and it's already like reaching a climax. Like, we're already at the last booster, and not much has been shown off. It's kind of making me worried about the pacing, but I'll do that in a separate video. So let's just talk about the episode. So alright, so I got a little few notes, and here's a basic plot summary. Xion and Jaime, or Jamie, whatever you want to call him, infiltrate an apostle base and are caught in Valios' trap. Xion challenges him to a card fight, and Valios says, "Look, I don't have much of a reason for fighting you. I mean, I fought you before. That's because you're a potential candidate. So why the hell aren't I fighting Jaime?" And I'm like, "Why aren't you fighting Jaime? When's the last time we started to see some Aquaforce on Aquaforce action, like a full-on card fight? Not when it's like half and half. I don't think you even had any in the show so far, actually. Oh no, yeah, we had Leon versus Leon. But no, I need to see how, like, because he said Valios says Thavas is Vanguard and Xion, and so like I wonder how, like, because the way I kind of interpret it is like the Vanguards, like the units they choose a Vanguard, kind of like that's kind of like their destined persons, so kind of like similar personalities. So like it would be interesting to see how Valios, the creator of Aquaforce, handled like when the newer people like Thavas, see how they would interact. But no, we don't get that. Instead we get freaking Mr. I'm the Prince, remind me of Seta Kaiba, freaking just going in. It was really weird. Like in the beginning of the episode, he starts off in like that special outfit he got from Kai in the jacket when they're infiltrating the base. But by the time they start the car fight, he went back to his G. He went back to the G Next outfit where he's in the freaking he's in the uniform. So maybe it makes me like, it's kind of funny just to think that Shin's like, I challenge you to a card fight, but first things first, I gotta switch into my proper gear. Just give me a second, I'm gonna be in the back. Now, something that they did kind of weird with this is that they had a lot of usage of swords in this episode, which is kind of fitting considering though I think all of them use swords like Valios, Altmile, and Thavas. And no, they're big, strong, tough, army dudes. They're Marines. So it felt kind of fitting, but all at the same time, this is a card game anime, and people are about to get stabbed. But I'll get further into that later. So they begin the card fight, and they show off a new Milius, a Felix, Livro, Altmile, all the good stuff. You know what they did with Asha and her deck, where like all the Ozu and the other people, the other maidens came back. They basically showed off those. I'll get back in the later section later about how I feel about those. And they're fighting, right? And Shion's like, you know what? Screw you, I'm Jesus. I'm Seta Kaiba's levels of broken. Let me just summon Fetus out of thin air. And you think he knows, he probably like had it in his pocket, right? No. Dude is actual God. He just freaking fabricated a new Fetus in his hand from nothingness. And people call freaking Chrono OP. This man can just create swords. Like, why isn't he the main protagonist? Like, different fights at him best. Shion has all the capabilities to be a good main protagonist. But we got Chrono. I like Chrono, so I'm not going to complain about that, but whatever. And so, with the new Fetus, when a new Fetus he makes from a sword, we also get to see a new Fetus as a card. Again, I'll get back into that later in the card fight section. And so, Shion wins because he is a main character. He's not the main character, but he's still a main character, so he has to win. He can't lose twice. No. So he beats him, and Valios says, "You know what? Screw this. You know what I'm gonna do instead? I'm just gonna gut you. Like, I don't give a damn. But the sword, I'm gonna kill you and Fetus." Ha! And he's like, and Valios like, oh crap, I gotta go, man, and they just drop dead, and freaking Shion and Jaime are freaking flipping out because the fight, like, despite the fact that freaking Shion has fought an entire gang by himself, a big burly man carrying a sword trying to stab you after winning a card game, yeah, I'd be pretty scared too. Freaking, I don't understand why they feel the need to do that. Like, I mean, it raises the question, why didn't he do this before? Like, if all he needed to do is get rid of them, then why did he just freaking take out the swords and kill them right then and there? Why did he accept the car fight? Like, he even questioned himself, why did he accept the car fight? But, like, now, it's just like, dude, if you could have stabbed them, then why did you just stab them? Like, why'd you feel the need to have to wait for this? Also, why would they have this? Again, I'm fine with, like, them, like, intimidating them with swords or whatever. That's cool, whatever. Adds a little intention to the environment. But to threaten to kill off a character with a sword, like, brutally. Like, I know they didn't do it, but the fact that they were, like, inching towards that. Like, he was about to, like, stab this man. And he, like, kind of fell to the side. Shion got lucky that he didn't get stabbed. And I'm thinking to myself, why did they feel the need to do this? It is not an intention. We already know he's going to live. He's a kid and a main character. He can't get freaking stabbed off on the screen. And I can't imagine this thing is, like, rated anything higher than what, like, a teenage level. At highest, like, sure, they cursed, like, once or twice, like, 2 seasons ago. But this is a children's card game. Like, threatening to murder people, I don't know how to feel about that. But if I was sent home, and then Jaime and Shion get split, go their own separate ways because they get new assignments, where Shion has to go meet up with some people, and those people happen to be Chrono and Tokuha, and that's how the episode ends. It's a very basic plot. I didn't feel the need I don't understand why they felt the need to have to, like, threaten with swords and like threaten to, like, kill off a character like that. But otherwise it's just a very, very bare bones kind of story. Not much to talk about there. All right, so the animation. There were no like super major animation issues I noticed. Then again, I know some people have a better eye for this. It wasn't glaring enough to where I would notice it right off the bat. So unless you're looking for it, I don't think there's much issue there, minus the whole card issue on, like, different hand sizes, which is always an issue in this card game anime. But they also were despite not having a lot of animation issues, they reused, like, the same animation like 4 different times in, like, a turn, and that's obnoxious. I don't appreciate that. Like, it's the same, like, freaking Shion, like, reaching forward, and it has, like, the whoosh whoosh, like, you know, the normal ones. But they used it so many times where it lost all impact it had, and it kind of bothered me. They showed off a lot of Valios in his facial expressions, because, like, if you notice, back when G Z got revived, he had, like, that very chaotic kind of face, like a Gasai kind of face, and they focus a lot on this. And actually went back and created animation showing off how he initially got that way, and showed, like, how much he, like, danced with insanity. Like, dude is actually crazy. He ran away from his issues knowing he couldn't do any better. So he says, if you can't beat him, join him. And if I'm gonna join them, I'm gonna give it 129%. And dude just goes ballistic. And freaking, like, so you know how, like, Dumjeed and whatever, like, freaking knocked off all his cards, like in a little pissy rage. This man, like, goes hysterical when he eventually gets to his Megado turn and he loses all the cards in the G-Zone. He's just flipping out. It was very interesting to see, and I'm glad they put the animation into his face instead of just, like, having the tone of voice change. I like how, like, they made it all distorted, but not like in, like, a Watamote kind of sense, but more of, like, just, like, more lines and wrinkles, and I appreciate that. There's a heartwarming scenes between Altmile and Shion, and I always really appreciate that. There's, like, one where, like, they're, like, standing hand in hand holding the new fetus, and it's always just nice to see them put the time to go, like, fix some animation issues that they had, like, originally serious, like when Shion first met Altmile. Like, they redid the animation, they showed off little cute things. Like, it felt really heartwarming. I always love when they show off, like, the characters like being in touch with their units. It's always nice to see. But there's wasn't much to talk about here, minus the distortion and the cute scene. Like, I mean, I know they're reusing a lot of animation. Not much to talk about besides they were using a lot of animation. Granted, the animation that they did looked very nice. So it was jarring and kind of annoying after a while. But when it first comes up, it looked very nice and very fluid. So I do appreciate that. So I would say the animation's good, not great, but still good. All right, so now we're gonna get on to the car fight. So we showed off the new Felix, Levero, and Altmile, which I can't remember all the skills off the top of my head, but they have a very good early game, which is very nice because what does Brave do? You need 3 cards in your hand. So normally what you would do is on turn 2 you rush your opponent as much as you can, cause as much stuff as possible without it like really being detrimental, and then just go in. And so now they're giving advantage. Like I can't remember if they like call something with Brave. That's Levero does. I don't remember exactly what they do, but they have a lot of early game presence, and I appreciate that because a lot of people's issues with Brave is like, yeah, Brave's a bad mechanic. So how do we work around this? Like, what do you give me as my options to work around this really crappy keyword? And so they're like, okay, well, here's your answer. Early game rush. You kill them within like the first for your first 3 turns. That's what you're basically trying to do. And even if you don't do that, you have other options. Because they gave Brave quite a few options. Like Brave now is less of using the keyword to its advantage, like the skill from the keyword, and more just having the keyword. Because you need a Brave Vanguard. You need to call Brave stuff. You can only call Brave stuff. Like it just depends around the keyword, not what the effect actually does. Like barely any effects that say Brave, then call something with Brave. They always say sorry about that. They always say, oh, I just call a card with Brave. I give power to a unit with Brave, not Brave, and then my Brave skill. No. That's all you need to do is just have cards with Brave. And it seems like it's kind of a waste, but at the same time, I don't know else what they do with this keyword, because this keyword is not good. If you only have 3 cards in hand, that means you're losing the game. You're gonna die. And this kind of meta where people can shell out attacks like nothing else. If you only have 3 cards, you're not living through the turn, and you're gonna lose. And it's always bad. And so I have a way to put them kind of prevalent into the meta by not really focusing on what Brave actually does as a keyword, and just focusing on using it as an advantage for its own deck. I kind of appreciate that. They showed off everything nicely. Like I didn't find many misplays. They worked around Megiddo, and they worked around Megiddo really good. They didn't like make it seem like Valios got worse. It just made it seem like Shion got better with his skills and his timing and multi attacks, which is basically what the deck evolves into now. Just attack with my dudes, call, attack with Vanguard, usually get a Brave skill, and then bada bing, bada boom, I win the game. There were quite a few inconsistencies, especially during the Megiddo turn. Like, it was so mad. I'm like, okay, there's no way Shion's gonna survive this turn, because he only has like 3 cards in the hand, as they showed in the beginning. But then he has like 2 G guards and guards with like 15k extra shield from hand, not counting intercepts, and I'm like, yeah, no. Like and also it makes me like he still runs the original Altmile, which I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like half of his best skills revolve around your Vanguard having Brave. So why would you run that old Altmile? That old Altmile doesn't have Brave. Brave is what you focus on. It's the only reason with that keyword, the name of the keyword is the only thing that keeps your deck afloat. So why would you not run max copies of something with Brave? But whatever. I like the car fight minus like 1 turn, that 1 Megiddo turn. I didn't really have any issues with. I think they showed off the cards very nicely and what they can do, their potential. I'm sure that people can find out more. People who play Brave, people who play Blue Wave, I'm sure they can do a lot more with the deck. But for just like showing bare bones of what you can do with these combos, I appreciate it. So overall, I think this episode was alright. I mean, there were some inconsistencies, but the animation was kind of nice until you had to keep on reusing it. And the overall darker tones, just for darker tones in the plot, I didn't think was very needed. But I had rewatched this 2 or 3 different times, and I don't play either decks, nor do I like watching either deck's play. So obviously it does something right to keep my attention, to keep me wanting to rewatch it. So with that in mind, I give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. You should definitely watch. I think if you want to see, if you're a Royal Paladin player, whether you play Blasters or Brave, watch this episode. They can show you little tidbits maybe that you can apply to your own game. If you play Blue Wave, you're watching just to see more Blue Wave in the show. And if you're playing Davos like I am, you're gonna be kind of disappointed. But that, guys, that's the end of this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.